So dear diary, this is part 2 of, let's see if we can do it in 2 parts, we probably can't, of the Harry Stuckey, con artist, the greatest #1 stalker in human history, and he somehow beat every police department and every DA's office over and over again. Absurd. They better hope they're getting kickbacks from him, because if they aren't, then they're 10 times more corrupt. Burp. I forget exactly where we ended, but if you can remember, 99, Richardson was my first and last art factory ever. I did such a flawless job, and everybody's minds were blown by what a good job I did. I always come through, always, always, always. And we had to put the lease in because of all kinds of a confluence of horrible events. I had to put the lease after Tom Richard flaked and nobody else came forward, because that's human style. Stuckey jumped at the chance to put the lease in his name, bailed on the $4,000 at the last minute, and at the board meeting, so we had these 2 board meetings. Now, in the emails, we were all fighting about things like this. Now, Harry Stuckey he said, let me see, these are all educated people. That means they're dumb as fucking shit. I'm going to use the same tricks that have worked every single time previously on these fucking retards. Example, change the subject. Works every single time. If you're accused of murdering Jews, change the subject. Change the subject. When I would prove him wrong in emails, he'd change the subject, and then Tom Richard and the rest of them would go, hey, yeah, what about the hole you kicked in the wall? It's like, that wasn't what we were talking about. And if you remember, I kicked a hole in the wall because of Harry Stuckey's fucking sleazy actions. Did you forget that point? Numerous sleazy actions, thousands and thousands, in just this one story by this criminal. And every single one of his enemies helped him. Not one single person turned on him and supported me. Some stuck up for me a little bit and stuck up for him a lot, even when they hated him. Outrageous corruption. And so he was slowly stealing the project. For instance, now it was my project, everyone agreed it was my project, everyone agreed that all the money, the $12,000 put in, was from my project, that I would be repaying the investors, David, Jessica, and Tom, within 6 months. Everybody agreed on everything. It was my project, and I had invited them, because it's like, you guys all have different skills that I don't have. And so I would like you guys to have some input on this place. I'd like it to be our kind of space. I mean, it's my space. I'm running it. I'm living here for 7 years. Maybe some of you will rent a room out. Harry is not to have a room here. Now, the first thing Harry did was he saw the space and said, I'm taking the best, largest, coolest bedroom, because Chris is going to throw amazing events here, and then I'm going to be able to date rape girls and drag them into my bedroom. It's much harder if my bedroom is 12 blocks away up the street. Where his place was, his failed music studio, his failed business, his failed home, his failed everything. Every project he had done previously had failed. That's why he's a con artist. He steals. He's a successful con artist. That's the one thing he has succeeded at. Never with any skill. Remember, no con artist is smart. It's that P.T. Barnum didn't say, there are smart people born every minute, but we outsmart them. He said there's a retard born every minute. I say he was wrong. He is a retard born every split second. There are no smart people in this world. I've been searching my whole life. I have yet to find one smart person besides me. It's very, very lonely. And I know you guys think, no, Einstein's smart. No, almost every one of Einstein's theories was wrong. When you're wrong almost all the time, you're not smart. You're dumb. And so nothing Harry did was clever. He took the space and he said, he said, that's not the best bedroom. And everyone said, oh yeah, it is. But nobody would say it to his face, because they were all afraid all sheep are afraid of the wolves. That's why the wolves always win. And they all just said, let him take it. Let him take $48,000 from this project. And I said, no, that's our best bedroom. We can rent that for $1,000 a month. We could rent that room for $2,000 a month. We could cut that bedroom into half and rent it for $2,000 a month. We could rent that for $3,000 a month. Although I'm not going to. My job wasn't, the purpose of this was to create a great space, not to gouge people. That's what Harry Stuckey would do. And you just can't believe the tragedies. I mean, do you know how many people in New York City, artists, could use affordable rent? And a space where they can make music, and a space where they can throw events, and a space with cool people? It's murdered. He murdered the fucking space, and he couldn't have done it without the help of all of his enemies, which is funny because you see that pattern in every situation. Hitler, it wasn't Hitler's friends who helped Hitler. It was Hitler's enemies who helped. It wasn't Bush's friends who helped Bush. Mostly Bush's enemies helped Bush. Bloomberg, his enemies helped him 10 times more than his allies did. This is what happens every day in life because the sheep are despicable and they're worse than the wolves are. They really are. The sheep are worse than the wolves because the sheep can stop the wolves anytime they want. But they just bend over and take more. You can't blame the wolves. The wolves are doing what they should do. Attack the sheep. The sheep want you to. If the sheep did want you to attack them, they would have done something, but they don't. And so I pointed out to people, we got a 7-year lease. If he's stealing $1,000 or $2,000 a month, do the math on that. The project has just, and they're all like, and all my friends who hate him, all voted to give him $48,000 of our project. And he lied about every single thing. I said, oh, great. So David Danzig says, I have to live with a cigarette smoker for the next 7 years. I was like, no, Harry says he's not going to live there. It's going to be his office. So he took the nicest and biggest bedroom we can get the most rent for his office, even though his office is up the street. Does that make any fucking sense? It's fucking retarded. Everything they did was fucking retarded. He was in charge of putting in the shower. I said, we can't rent the spare bedrooms until we have a shower in this place. He said, don't worry, I got it under control. Everyone said, shut up, Christopher, you're out of control. Harry says he's got it under control. And I was like, okay, Harry's gotten caught lying to you every single time so far. He has gotten caught lying every single time so far. So you said, well, he's not lying this time. And Christopher's never been wrong. So this time we're not going to trust Christopher. They did this hundreds of times, dozens in each board meeting alone. Example, I pointed out that Harry was supposed to pay $4,000 for the lease. Why didn't he? I pointed out, I said, Harry, you say the lease is your name, you're in total control of the project. Why are the 4 people who had put the money for the lease, all of them say they didn't put the money in for your lease? All of them say it wasn't your space. All of them said it was for Christopher's space. Explain that. He would change the subject, and every moron at the meeting would forget that he didn't answer the question. He'd say, Christopher can't run the space. Christopher's a loser. I'm a success. And I'd be, really, Harry, then why do you need to move into my space when your space is up the street? Is your space not successful enough? I proved everything he said wrong every single time. And so my friends just kept saying the same thing. I trust Harry, not Christopher. I trust Harry, not Christopher. Over and over again. Only Rachel, Tina, and Cavassa stuck up for me at all at the meetings. Tom Richard repeatedly said, Christopher's out of control. It's like, okay, Tom, you remember me asking you to put the lease in your name first. So right there we know Harry's lying. This is worse than weapons of mass destruction. This is worse than fucking a virgin birth. This was just superhuman, stupid bullshit, and it worked every single time. And that was my fault partially. I created the board with one reason in mind. A semi-official board was to protect the space from Harry. I forgot, or I overlooked, or I was negligent and didn't remember that the most educated people on earth are brain fucking dead. I couldn't imagine that these people who I knew would be unbelievably retarded and be tricked 100% of the time by a guy, no matter how many times he got caught lying. I could sue all my friends. They're fucking outrageous, the shit they did to me. Example, he said, I'm very successful. I said, we can clear this up in a second, Harry. This is the meeting in front of everybody. I said, Harry, whip out your credit cards. They're all in your wife's name, aren't they? Weird for a successful guy, successful filmmaker. Show us some of your films, Harry. Oh, you've never made a film. Harry would make up business cards and say he's a director so he could get stupid fucking teenage girls to sleep with him. He's a fucking snake on every level, and all these people knew he was a snake. But everybody knew Bush was a snake, and what did you do? You kneeled and sucked him off. Everybody knew Bloomberg was a snake, and what did they do when they found out he was a snake and he stole all the money? That's right, they dropped to their knees, sucked him off, and said, could you please come down my throat again and again and again? That's what humans have always done. Hitler did whatever the fuck he wanted. Reagan did whatever the fuck he wanted, because the sheep are the real problem in this world. Without apathy, there cannot be evil. Apathy creates all evil. Evil is a symptom. Apathy is the problem. But let me not get too bogged down in this. We want to get more to what the corrupt, super corrupt police and the super corrupt DA did. Shocking, shocking. I still can't believe any of it. And I lived it, and I'm still living it 2 years and like 4 months later. No amount of money can ever repay me. No, they could give me $3 billion tomorrow. It wouldn't slightly make up. I can't. You don't know the details. You can't. How do I replace my greatest photos over the last 20 years that were not digital? How? It's not possible. These are photos of people who aren't alive anymore. These are mind-blowing photos of situations and spaces and stuff that I were in that don't exist anymore. These were photos of amazing outfits that I don't have anymore. And lots of people I showed these photos to, they're like, these photos are fucking brilliant. These photos are fucking hilarious. No shit, they're fucking brilliant works of art. They're all gone. We're talking, remember, I've never done, well, that's not true. I was going to say I've never done a work of art worse than the Mona Lisa. Everyone believes the Mona Lisa is one of the great works of art of all time. It isn't, even at any level, but it's the most famous. Now, you might say, well, Jessica Simpson's famous, so she must be great and talented. Wrong. We know that success has nothing to do with merit. George Bush didn't become president of the United States because he was the most qualified and smartest man on earth. That's not how it works. Success almost always is proof of popularity, doesn't mean anything. The Mona Lisa is a piece of shit. Da Vinci's done some brilliant shit. The Mona Lisa ain't it. The Mona Lisa is famous because the Mona Lisa is famous. Like a lot of celebrities today are famous for being famous. They're not famous because they did anything impressive. What's the most impressive thing Paris Hilton did? Got fucked like a lot of other girls? That's not very impressive. So why is she in the newspapers every day? Because humans are disgusting. So most of my works of art are far superior to the Mona Lisa. Not on par with the Mona Lisa, far superior in every level, intellectual, often physical skill, blah, 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 blah. And people haven't seen a lot of my fine art, so they don't know. They just talk at the rest. They saw my cartoon. They go, I've seen your art. You're not that good. It's like, oh, so you saw my cartoon? You fucking retards. I just got to start murdering people. There's no point fighting for good. It's me versus 7 billion empty monsters. And they don't even, half of them don't even understand. Like, no, everyone says the Mona Lisa is a masterpiece, so it must be true. Everybody would say something's wrong. Like, I don't personally like the Mona Lisa, but it must be great. Why would everybody say it's great? It's famous for being famous. A lot of famous works of art are great, and a lot of them aren't. If Vincent van Gogh hadn't supposedly cut off his ear, which is another urban legend that turned out to be a myth, like everything else you believe is a fucking myth, right? When they tell you that planes are statistically safer than cars, they're lying. They have to tell you that. Think about it. They have to tell you that for the business. Duh. My God, people just believe everything they're told. And I can't live on a planet like that. But it's hard to kill the only good person you've ever met. It's really hard. So, let's jump ahead to my 99, how my art factory was stolen from me. Broad daylight. With the help of every single one of my so-called friends and his enemies. So, pausing to save. So, stealing $48,000 from the project instantly on the first day. He stole $48,000 from the project. I'm like, wow, how many open bars would that fund for a little art shows and stuff? $48,000. Can anyone do the math? You fucking disgust. And they just, every step, they just said, all right. And then he said, wow, I just got them to let me steal $48,000 from this collective project, which is really, we all agree, is Christopher's. That's fucking hilarious. He's like, what can't I do here? If I can do that, there's no limits. I can do anything I want. He said, I promise not to smoke in the apartment. Then he's smoking minutes later. Because he's like, what are you fucking sheep gonna do? You fucking sheep. What are you gonna fucking do, you fucking loser, retard, fucking sheep? And he was right. Every single inch they gave him. And then he promised to do the shower. He said, it takes weeks to do a shower. I said, no, it takes 2 days to install a shower, you fucking lying piece of shit. And Dr. Steamable, who's a carpenter, said, yeah, it should only take a few days to install a thing. So Harry would then change it. And he'd get people to say, no, redoing a bathroom takes weeks. No one said redoing a bathroom. We said installing a shower. Very different Two totally different things, you fucking liar. But he knows humans are retards. And Tom Richford would confuse putting in the shower with redoing a bathroom. Two different things. But Harry is outsmarted them all. Wasn't hard. Nothing he did was clever. That's not clever. You can tell, any retard can tell the difference. And he lied about everything. He ripped out the stainless steel sink we had that was great. They said, you can do whatever you want, Harry. He got caught lying about everything. For instance, so he said, I'm going to have the shower in soon. And he broke all those promises. So I'm like, now, you guys, yet again, he's broken everything he said. And they're like, well, we're still going to trust him completely and not you. And these were my best friends. And the more he got caught lying, the more they trusted him. Remember, I saw that before the age of 10, that the more somebody lied, the more everyone trusted them. The more you tell the truth, the more nobody trusts you. And I really need to fucking snap and just fucking kill as many of you before you take me down. Kill as many of you as I can. Because remember, you didn't just destroy my life. You destroyed everybody's life on Earth, with the exception of Dick Cheney, Mike Bloomberg, and a bunch of really rich criminals who raped you. And you served all of those criminals. And you facilitated 100% of their crimes. Any one person can change the world. Look at Hitler. He got off his lazy fucking ass. He wasn't a sheep. Now he fucked up, but he changed the world. A couple other examples. Like, then when Harry, then we set up another deadline, Tom finally started getting sick of Harry. Finally. It was too late at this point, but Tom was starting to realize, wait a minute, have we been lied to by Harry? And he's like, Harry said he was going to get the shower done, and he hasn't. He said Tom was the biggest investor, so Tom tried to pretend he was in charge. And Harry did all the classic divide and conquer things. Because, I mean, most people haven't heard of divide and conquer. Oh, wait a minute. Everyone's heard of divide and conquer. That's why it works every day on tricking them. Because how can you see something that's right in front of your fucking face? And, example, though. At one point, Harry said, look, I put in some pipes. No, he didn't do anything. He hired somebody guy at the last fucking second at 4 a.m. to fucking do some shit before one of the deadlines. And remember, everything Harry does, politicians do every minute of every day and get away with it every single time. This shit isn't fresh. But there's one me against 7 billion retards. That is not a fair fight. Example, though. He told them, oh, pipes take a long time to put in. Look, I put in some pipes here. And I said, everybody, he's preying on the fact that you're all retards again. Watch this. And I picked it up. They're PVC pipes. Do you know how PVC pipes work? Those are the plastic pipes they use for plumbing. You take 2 pipes, one's male, one's female. It's like Lego almost, only easier to put together. You take the adhesive, it's on a cute little fuzzy little ball brush, and you go whoosh around it. Creates glue. You then stick them together. Done. Literally 4 seconds. It literally takes 4 seconds, and he told them how hard that was. I showed them in front of their eyes, and they still said, we're all going to trust Harry. Because remember, every time in New York City, every New Yorker I've met, the most educated people on planet Earth, every single time have said, when given a choice between trusting their eyes and trusting lies, every single time, you can't think of once where they did not trust the lies over their own eyes. When Giuliani was mayor, every day people saw the greatest crime in New York City history. They saw crime explode because most people take the subway every day. And the subways had a 800% crime rate. Vandals went out to hit all the windows. This is one example. Vandals went out to hit all the windows in all the subway cars, scratching them up, etching acid. They hit every one of them. 100% crime rate. They ran out of windows, so they hit them again and again. Every window I saw had 8 to 16 vandalisms on it. And remember, all those glass windows had to be replaced. That was an 800% crime rate. Every single person in New York City said, I'm glad Giuliani got rid of all the crime. Every day, in front of their eyes, they saw the crime. And they said, well, at least he got rid of all the crime. I'm not in Tennessee with a bunch of fucking rednecks. I'm in Manhattan. I'm not even in fucking Staten Island. I'm in Manhattan. The most educated people to ever live are here, and they got fooled 100% of the time. Now, you might say, there's times where the people weren't fooled. No, that's not what happened. The only time people realized what was going on was when everybody else, collectively, it was groupthink. If everyone says there's a virgin birth, everyone believes there's a virgin birth. If everyone says a politician's a crook, everyone says a politician's a crook. You see? So now people say, oh, now everyone hates Bloomberg. Well, it doesn't count, because you only hate Bloomberg because everyone else hates Bloomberg. You fucking retard liars. And, wow, just devastation, mind-boggling devastation. Now, the story's going to get a lot worse, because now we bring in the fucking scumbag police. And I was saying things like, Harry, do I have to go to the police? You know, what you're doing is fraud, you're embezzling our money, you're doing all kinds of serious felonies. And everyone said, Christopher, you're out of line. You're out of line, Christopher. You're wrong. How dare you attack Harry, who's helping you with this great project? Remember, this is after he had lied hundreds of times, got caught in hundreds of lies, had stolen everything. We were on the last threads of holding this project together, and it's just unbelievable. At one point, after everyone had fucking destroyed everything, at one point I said, Harry, if you think you're going to steal this project, because remember, I was already on my last leg. I had lost everything, and this was my last shot at being able to do anything without people destroying my life. And I told everyone, I said, if I pull this project off, it'll be a miracle, because I know how humans operate. If I'm in charge of everything, it goes well, but I can't be in charge of everything. It's not possible. There's a landlord above me. There's a mayor who's making zoning laws. There's a fire department. There's all kinds of fucking insane assholes who have power over my project. And although the irony is, for once, because people always say I'm negative, because I always predict everything flawlessly. So this time I said, you know what, I'm going to be optimistic. And optimism produced the greatest travesty and tragedy of my life. Wacky. That's wacky. I mean, how did I guess that when I was 5? I said, Harry, if you steal this fucking project away from me, I'll fucking murder you and me, because I got nothing to lose, asshole. And he said, say that in the tape recorder. And I said, gladly. Oh, at the meetings, we even tried to record the meetings. And he said, no, I don't want these meetings recorded. I'm like, why? You got nothing to hide. I'm not afraid to be recorded. Why are you? He said, I don't want my nieces hearing that I hang out with losers. It's like, that is the stupidest fucking lie. It works every time. You can't tell a lie dumb enough to not trick the people. Right? You could say, like last week, we had the May 21st, end of the world, the rapture. And millions of people believe that shit. Now, you can't say, well, most people didn't believe it, so you're wrong that people are retards. No, most people didn't believe it because most people didn't believe it. Do you understand? You can't find me a person who didn't believe it, who we couldn't get to believe it minutes later. If we just told them that everybody else believed it, if we just showed them polls, 85% of the world says they think the rapture is coming on May 21st, then everyone else who were skeptics go, well, I must have been wrong. Because if everyone else says it's got to be true, that's why they flood you with polls these days. All the polls say everybody wants Bloomberg to run for president. Nobody did. Those polls were faked by people he had given money to. I mean, it's not even a clever scam, but it never fails, ever, every day. Now, even though New Yorkers have seen polls be wrong always, they all still believe them to this day, because humans only want to fit in and be like their neighbors. If everyone believes that you got to punch yourself in the face 3 times a day, every human but me will do that. Whatever it takes to fit in. Oh my God, I've got to go fucking kill myself. You have no idea how bleak it is. Shit. And we're about to get to the police now, where these fucking scumbag snakes come into the picture. And then the DA, 10 times more corrupt than anybody else who ever lived. You can't compare Adolf Hitler to a district attorney, but you would, because everybody else says that Adolf's worse. It's gotta be true for everybody, Daddy. I'm fucking furious. Sorry this isn't friendlier. End of part 2.